AI passive income. They say it's easy money, right? The dream of making cash while you sleep. Well, I spent 7 days building an AI system completely from scratch, and I found out that's not the whole truth. To be honest, most of it is a flat-out lie. You've seen the promises all over the internet. Total freedom, automated cash flow, finally escaping that 9-to-5 grind. And let's be real, the idea is so addictive. You just set up a couple of tools, click a button, and boom, the money just rolls in. They sell it like it's the new gold rush, but is there actually any gold at the end of that rainbow? Well, after a full week of building and testing and tweaking, my grand total was pretty much nothing. A big, fat zero. It was a complete and honestly a pretty brutal reality check. So I decided to put all that hype to the test. For 7 straight days, I documented everything while I built an AI automation system from the ground up. And in this explainer, I'm going to show you the one huge mistake that I think almost everyone makes. To keep this 100% real, I set 3 super simple rules for myself. Rule 1, I'm starting with $0. Rule 2, I have to build my own system. No shortcuts, no templates. And rule 3, I'm only testing real practical strategies. Absolutely no guru nonsense. And just like that, the 7-day reality test began. And this wasn't really just about the money. It was about the journey. From that initial excitement all the way to the cold, hard truths of what it actually takes to make this work. So this was basically my emotional journey for the week. It started with these super high hopes, then it just plunged into deep frustration. Then there was this tiny little glimmer of hope, and finally, a moment of real clarity. This is what the process actually feels like. The first couple of days felt incredible. I was setting up all the AI tools, the automation was clicking together, and I honestly thought, wow, this is it. This is going to be so easy. I literally went to bed expecting to wake up to a phone full of sales notifications, and then silence. Day 3 came and went, nothing but crickets. Day 4, exactly the same. That initial high was completely gone, and it was replaced by this creeping sense of doubt. And my grand total after all that work? 0. A soul-crushing 0. All that setup, all that optimism, all for nothing. This is the part of the story the gurus never, ever show you. And the only thing going through my head was, this is so much harder than everyone says it is. The frustration was real. I was putting in the work, but the system was giving me absolutely nothing back. So I have to ask you, right here, at the lowest point, would you have given up? Be honest with yourself, because this is the exact moment where I think most people just throw in the towel. I almost did. I really did. But I just decided to push through for one more day. And on day 5, something finally happened. It was this tiny little signal in all the noise, just a small sign of life. Look, it wasn't the jackpot, but it was proof. Proof that the system could work. $5.41. I know, it's not a lot of money, but it was everything. It was proof that the system wasn't a complete failure. It was that first sign of life, and it honestly changed my entire perspective. That time period, when you're working really hard but getting no reward, I have a name for it. I call it the Valley of Zero, and I'm convinced it's the single biggest reason why most people fail at this. So here's the honest truth. Success in this game isn't about having the fanciest AI tool. It's about having the grit to push through that Valley of Zero. See, the system doesn't fail. People quit right before it's about to work. So here's what I really learned. Expecting instant money and just copy-pasting some guru's method, that's a recipe for failure. Treating AI like some magic button, it's not going to work. What actually worked was finding a real problem, actively building a system to solve it, and then just staying consistent, even when I was earning absolutely nothing. Okay, now we get to the big twist, because what I figured out in that 7-day experiment completely changed how I see this whole game. It's not at all about what the gurus are selling you. Here it is, the single most important lesson I learned. What we're talking about here, it is not passive income. In fact, calling it that is probably the biggest lie in the entire industry. It's leveraged income. And I'm telling you, once you understand this one little shift in thinking, everything changes. So forget the word passive. From now on, think leverage. So what do I mean by leverage? Well, it's using a system, using AI, to multiply your own effort. You still have to do the active work up front, but then the system takes your 1 hour of input and turns it into 10 or maybe even 100 hours of output. That's the real game changer. So the real path looks like this. Step 1, active work. You have to find a painful problem people will actually pay to solve. Step 2, more active work to build a system that solves that problem. And only then, in step 3, do you use AI as leverage to scale and automate that system. And that really is the ultimate takeaway. The goal isn't to get AI to do the work for you. The goal is to do the smart work yourself that AI can then multiply 1,000 times over. It's a tool, a powerful one, but it's not a replacement for real effort. So the truth about AI passive income, it's not passive, it's leveraged. It's not a total myth, but it's definitely not a magic button. It's a tool that multiplies your active work. Now, if you want to see the exact system I use to turn that first $5 into my first 100, click the explainer that's on your screen now. And hey, subscribe for more real experiments with zero hype.